Hello, everyone. This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. We're going to be open for 12 years as of August, and we've had many slings and arrows thrown at us. I have said this many times for those people who are looking for ISO certification of any type. We offer that certification. We, unlike ANSI-ANAB, who are intermixed with terrorism, who are intermixed with improprieties, we are the only company that will represent you. You call up these other registrars, and I've dealt with it. I was working for other people. In fact, people ask me why I wear these. Well, I'll tell you why. They were my handcuffs. They were my handcuffs working for other people, making those other people pretty wealthy. As a matter of fact, there was one company that I worked for that I was supposed to get them ISO certified, and we did. And I'm not going to tell you the company's name, but I will say this, that the guy said, when I said to him, I've done a lot of work here, and he said, no, you didn't. These two other guys did. And I said, no. I said, I did a lot of work. And he said, Daryl, the only reason why we got ISO certified is that the auditor is a Jew just like you. Isn't that a tender moment? Right. You don't make this up. I have it in a book. I have the date. I have the time. And it's really unbelievable. These people, they're still living in the gutter. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I had a subscriber to my YouTube channel write me a wonderful note the other day on a video that I did for the bodybuilding portion of my life, because I always believed in the Spartan way of life. Meaning a strong body, a strong mind, a strong mind, a strong body. And this is what the person wrote. Everything you're speaking is being validated in your presence. So many people just talk strong, and it's nice that you're being strong. I always try to be strong because most of these affiliations in quality. Now, in 2013, I gave a speech at the American Society for Quality, where you had a Region 3 director, a Dave Levy, say, Mr. Guberman, we have no problem with you. In fact, ANAB supports you in what you're doing. I guess that notification didn't go up the ladder, because in 2016, the vice president, who used to be the vice president of ANAB, the chairman of the IF, and also the principal on the IF tax form, Randy Doherty, wrote us an email and said that it's all voluntary. Yeah, right. When you find out the bullshit that they talk about, it's not voluntary. He said this. He said, if you want to join ANAB, if you want to join IAF, or you want to join both, go ahead, do it. Well, at that time, in 2016, I wasn't going to be a schmuck, because the International Accreditation Form, which is a repository in Delaware, it's incorporated in Delaware. It is a repository for all these international and national accreditation bodies. Who sits on there? Iran and Pakistan, okay? Russia sits on there, okay? And you have, this is a conduit to deal, also you have conflict mineral states for those people who are getting ITAR, which is a waste of time, because you have the South African Accreditation Cooperation, and they have about 5 different conflict mineral states on there. Who sits on ANSI? But you have, I think it was Carpenter Technology. Some of those metals they have to use for production of their own, metals themselves. So you look at this mess. I can go on and on. People say, Daryl, you've got so much knowledge. Why didn't ANSI pick you? Well, I said that in June of 2022. I applied for Director at Large, okay? I applied for that. And what happened is, in 2019, a chairman, Rush Cheney, called me up because I exposed an impropriety with laboratory accreditation. And he said, half a nut, fuck you. As the chairman, that filters down to all the corporations and federal agencies that sit on there. Like a Christopher Wray from the FBI, who sits on every inquisition, either the Senate or Congress, and he says, China is a detriment. TikTok's no good. In fact, November 15, 2022, he demanded the government to do something with TikTok because it's a Chinese-based app that you can record things on, and the Chinese download your information. That's it. Well, you figure this. As my buddy Rich would say, who's got just about the same amount of time and quality that I do, He would say, Daryl, it is not hacking, it's giving our data away. Getting back to Russ Cheney, he said that in 2022 when I applied a 54-page document at 16 letters of recommendation. All of them, when I go in and I talk to a prospective customer, I tell them about the ANAB scam, ANSI-ANAB scam, because ANSI took over complete control over ANAB in 2018. So let me go back. I was, asked to join the ANAB or IAF or both. From 2015 to 21, they had a communist Chinese national, Zhao Jinwu, who was also at the time not only the chairman of the IAF, but he's also the chief executive of the China National Accreditation Services, which certified the laboratory that released the COVID virus. You can't make this up. I have all the data. I've done it on videos after video. I don't want to show you placards today. I want to just talk the brass tacks to you. You have TUV Rhineland and TUV SUD. Those two registrars were involved with the Holocaust. And as a Jewish man, I find that very offensive. They tried to bury it. I have a book. If you like the book for TUV, they used to certify pressure vessels that they put carbon monoxide gas in there to kill people, Jews and Gentiles, all of that. And from what I've discovered, they even certified the ovens to make sure their temperature gradients were properly when they're burning bodies. Isn't that a tender moment? And yes, and TUV is all over Germany. So is DNV and all the rest. I was there. I visited. I saw that. They do the elevators, escalators, and all the rest of this mess. The reason why I tell you this is that for those of you, especially those guys out in Texas who succumbed to Boeing's threats, well, Boeing sits on ANSI's board too. They sit right over by the FAA, who succeeded inspection in 2009 to Boeing to build and design the 737 MAX. On top of that, in 2002, Boeing sent out a procurement document that stated that if you are AS 9100 certified, there's no problem. We don't have to send any more inspectors into your facility. We just take that as a viable form of your quality integrity. Now, that's 21 years ago they did that. You also have the factor that they were caught fudging documentation on these aircraft. Boeing was, just like their counterpart, Kobe Steel, who supplied metals to them. So you had double fudging of the numbers. You have Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson sitting on ANSI's board right over by the FDA, USDA, CDC, NIH. And yeah, the FDA, isn't that a beautiful place? Not good anymore. So, and they got caught, well, not caught, but they had to get a product, the COVID vaccine, returned. 60 million vials of the COVID vaccine from Johnson & Johnson contaminated, and they skipped quality process. It's about 50 million or so from Pfizer, skipped quality process. They sit on ANSI's board right over by the accreditation body. Many times they use for different parts of their businesses, ANAB, and ANSI owns ANAB. Right over by the FBI, who comes in and tries to do some evaluation if there's an issue. Well, I can go on, but this video today is about a wonderful subscriber put this into as a commentary on one of my videos. And as Thomas Paine would say, when speaking the truth, it is many times like administering medication to the dead. Joe Bathia, who runs ANSI, is incompetent. I've got the proof. Okay, I asked him for an apology because the chairman in 2019, Russ Cheney, called me up and said, half a nut, fuck you. I played that audio file. You can find that all over my YouTube channel. In 2022, I figured that I could clean that mission statement up that Joe Bathia smiles all the way to the bank, cashing his $2 million check, along with Jameson Carroll, their incompetent attorney from Daryl, Atlanta, Georgia. Carroll and Weiss law firm, or is it the dog catcher? No, I don't think they could catch a dog either. And you have Russ Cheney, when I was sent a package where Joe Bathia has this form letter congratulating me on being a nominee for ANSI. You have this form letter, and in that form letter, it had click links that brought you to their code of conduct, which you think half a nut fuck you is a good code of conduct? Well, I guess that's it. And how about the women who sit on there? I guess their mouth is just as trashy. And what are you going to do? But anyway, when I applied for this position, They had a 9 questionnaire that you had to answer is what Daryl Guberman could do, or any nominee could do, for ANSI. Well, I figured I could do a lot with my background in being aerospace, medical implants, medical materials, printing, and plastic distribution, where I dealt with all kinds of different arenas, all kinds of industries. So on the bottom of that, and I've read it before, it said, "Congratulations, nominee. The nominating chairman for 2022, Russ Cheney." Do you think he was going to pick me? No, he didn't. But you know something? You have a lawyer like Andrew Updegrove, a super attorney from 2004 to 2022, and he sits there. What is that telling you? You have Boeing that sits on these boards. You have Lockheed. You have all these other corporations and federal agencies. What is it saying to you? Yeah. It's saying that our quality is in the trash. And I will say the last thing. ANSI and ANAB are mentioned on government contracts as being underwriters for the IAF. So when they tell you we do not certify the product, we certify the system, that is off the table. An underwriter accepts, if you're building this product and it fails, they are responsible because they are underwriters. Underwriters. You understand that? I'm sure they'll disagree with me, but actually, I don't give a fuck. And that was Russ Cheney's words, because I'm just following the protocol of ANSI. Have a nut, fuck you. I don't want to say have a nut, fuck you, but when I say I don't give a fuck, that means I am following the protocol of a standard, of a national standard writer, voluntary consensus standard. I am following it because that's what Russ Cheney said. He's the chairman. That's all. Anyway, my telephone number is 203-556-1493. Or Daryl, tqrs@yahoo.com. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope this was informative. Give me a call. Have some chutzpah. Don't be like most business people who say to me, "Well, Daryl, ISO is just a nuisance. I have to keep my balls in the air." He keeps his balls in the air. He's studying those. He's not looking at his product. No wonder why we have fucking failure.